Hello, my name is Gideon Ferber, and in this video clip I'm going to talk about the creation capabilities of the Morpho. I'm going to demonstrate several ways to create materials by using Photoshop files, by using creation from scratch using the Morpho's native primitives. We are going to use content from the internet, either RSS information and images, and eventually we will cover a little bit about chart, and that's it. So let's start from the easiest way to work and the most common way actually, and that's just by importing PSD files directly from Photoshop. In order to do that, we can just click the import Photoshop file and we can select the file that we want to use. That's simple. Now the Morpho actually transforms each of the layers that was originally created in the Photoshop, transforms it into a separate object in the Morpho while maintaining the structure of the file. So if for instance, I will take the John McGuinness layer, I can now move it, change it, play around with it. And of course I can do that with all the items, so I can move them around and place them in the position that I need. Of course, we have a save frame preview, which help us to arrange our graphics and place it in the right position. So let's say that this is a nice place. One more thing I can do, I can rotate everything in 3D, and you can see that the Morpho is a real 3D application. The workspace is a real 3D space. One more thing that you can notice is that layers will never collide. So even if the operator or designer has no previous experience in 3D application, still he's not ruining anything. Alright, the next thing I would like to do, I would like to change the image that we are using. Let's say that I don't want this specific image, I want to crop it a little bit, play around with it. Again, the Morpho gives me a very nice editing capabilities, which means I don't need to leave the application, I don't need to go back to Photoshop in order to edit the content. I can just use the E icon in here, which opens the editor. And now let's say that I just want to crop the image a little bit and select something like that. And let's add a little bit of brightness, little bit of contrast, and done. So really easy way to control and edit content without the need of leaving the application. Now let's crop it, save it. That's it. We have the image modified. Another thing that I can do, I can actually replace it. So if I don't want to use an image, I want to use a video clip instead. Really simple. We can just browse and find the content that we want. For instance, in this case, I will use a clip and just an AVI clip, and this is not interlaced. And if we click on the preview, you can see that the video is running and you have local preview for the video clips. We support clips in various formats, so it can be MPEG, AVI, WMV, MOV, MP4, DIF, and so on and on and on. So it's very handy, very easy to use clips as part of your graphics. Alright, the next thing I would like to do, I would like to add animation to this super. And the way we are working with animation is very simple. As you can see, we have no timeline, no keyframes. You don't need to have any previous experience with animation in order to use animation. What we are doing, we are using presets of predefined motion. So for example, if I took the John McGuinness and assigned to it a global reveal effect for the in motion, if I click the try button, you can see now that we have the effect. That simple. However, the fact that we are using presets doesn't mean that we cannot modify the content. Of course, we can do that. And in order to do that, we have here the item in effect control. We can set the time, the speed, the direction. Some effects also have the looping capability. Some effects have distance capability, which gives us a multiplier on the effect, so we can scale it up, scale it down. I mean, you have quite a nice control over the pre-made effects. Now I would like to actually copy this effect from one item from the John McGuinness title that we selected to all the other objects. And, well, this is done just by drag and drop. So now if I click the try button, you can see that one item after the other appears in the scene. However, this is a little bit too slow. I want to make it a little bit smoother. And for that we have the timing. By default, the timing is set to pause, which means the effect starts, it ends, and then it waits X amount of time according to what we specify in the pause parameters. If I want to make it faster, we can use the duration, which means the animation starts, and from the second it starts, it counts as the time that we want to wait, and then continues to the next item. So, in this case, I would like to use, let's say, a duration of 5 milliseconds, and which means it starts the effect, counts 5 milliseconds, and then continue to the next item. So if we click the try button, you can see that everything is a lot smoother than it was before. Okay, the next element I would like to add to this scene is an RSS feed. And let's move the entire super a little bit up so it will give us the space for the crawl that will run in here. And the way I want to import or use this RSS feed is just by taking it directly from the web. So I have here the CNN webpage, and CNN uses quite a lot RSS feeds, and I want to use the top stories newsfeed. So this is really simple. We can just take it, drag it manually straight into the working area, and that's it. You can see that now we have the text appearing in here, and this is not just a text, this is actually a crawl. So just drag and drop, and we have a crawl. If we click the try button, you can see the animation, and that's it. So now we have a crawl that updates immediately from the web page of the CNN. Now, the Morpho is not just 2D application, so we can actually change the RSS scroll to 3D text, and this is really easy to do. We can switch from 2D to 3D, and let's select a wider font so it would be easier to see what we're doing. And let's change the color. So the diffuse, I want it to be white, and the bevel, I want it to be white as well. And let's put it in 3D perspective and scale it up a bit. Let's add some depth, and now let it run. So again, just click try, and now you can see that we have crawl that is built from 3D text running in 3D space, updating automatically from the web page of the CNN. However, now, well, it's not very broadcast oriented. Now the crawl is on top of the super. This looks quite strange. So I want to send the crawl to the back. In order to do so, it's really simple. We have the order buttons, and this is actually, well, we were quite inspired by the PowerPoint. The mechanism is very similar, so we can use send to back, it will be on the back, bring to front, it's on the front. No need to handle axes, you don't need to know what is Z, where is Z, what is the Z depth, etc. So just by using bring to front, send to back, done. Alright, now I want to restore it back to the default look, so it will be back to, well, more broadcast look. So let's change it again and restore the Arial font, and we have the crawl. So that's for this example.